Hi everyone, and welcome back to Red Sand Rising. I am Charlie, or Cheesy, as your GM for this adventure, and with me, as always with me, my friends playing. Say hi, friends.
Hi.
Hi, friends. As always, I'm Elias, playing Giovanni, the well-cared-for dwarf that is also taking care of his own skin and many gardens around Sandpoint.
It's me, Faye, and I'm once again playing Sappho, or ancient poetry-obsessed bard.
Hello, I'm Peter. I'll be playing Tippler's Bane, the mushroom fleshy ranger, bonking you with a hammer.
Hello, I'm Sylvia, and as usual I'll be playing Jiji, our smart little goblin who has a knack for spellcasting and potions.
And we are actually gathering after a major plot point, as last we left off, our Sandpoint adventurers finished the ritual with Nualia. During that ritual, they spent significant time explaining their concerns of Nualia and how they truly believe she has been wronged by the town, while some party members warded off more of the shadows. Eventually, Nualia gave the parties 7 different visions. A town burning, and on top of it, a flamed armored figure. A screech piercing through the night as a flying figure grabs a townsperson and flies off. A liquid being poured into the river. A circle of cowled figures chanting. A flash of metal and a blood spray. A toxic explosion, red eyes peering through the smoke, and finally, the whole vision flashes red and cuts off. Those are the upcoming 7 dooms for Sandpoint, unless stopped. With the visions, Nualia told the party she feels a strong connection between those doom and a forgotten place just outside of Sandpoint called the Pit. After a night's rest, though some more difficult than others, and after some nightmares, the party gathers to follow up on their next direction, after they leveled up. So would you like to go a little bit over about what did you guys take in your level 5?
Giovanni on the level up basically got the roses and the power of wood that he uses for many of his elemental blasts and such to also reinforce himself a bit and basically protect himself more whenever he uses like a wood elemental blast that costs 2 action or more. Giovanni gets also temporary HP equal to his level for a turn now, so it's gonna be a bit more sturdy whenever he uses some wooden elements in his blasts. The roses will also form kind of a protective layer around him. And in a similar vein, he also learned to use the powers of water elements defensively in a better way with the reaction deflecting wave. So when Giovanni is hit by certain types of damage that water can basically hinder from harming him, he will get resistance to certain types of damage to him as a reaction. And for his ancestry, Giovanni hates the darkness, he hates the caves, and so there's kind of like this elemental influence on him from the elemental planes has made him able to even see through magical darkness that some pesky mages try to darken the world around him, and Giovanni is not having it. He wants to see the beauty in this world, no matter the cost. That's all.
Nice.
Well, Sappho's apprenticeship with a locksmith paid off. So she's now trained in thievery. And also she's like the whole thing with Nualia and also with the underground temple had impressed her so much about how important for knowing history also religion, like the context of religion is. So she read about some books, got a little bit smarter, and is now also trained in religion. And she also has started reading poetry in Catonian. still stumbles a little bit over some words here and there, but she's started to learn it. And for her, her ancestry has given her, some suspicion. So it's not as easy to take influence on her or control her. And she's also better at discerning if somebody else might be under the influence of a spell and not quite themselves. And that, and there's also some tiny 3rd level spells. So she's learned how to either make people applaud for her, even against their will, or, to shape the weave, to shape their actions. And we'll see when we use that. But that's it for Sappho.
So, for Tippler, he realized how much the party relies on him to, stay on his feet and to dish out damage. And he took both quite literally and learned how to grow some roots when people try to knock him prone. So as a reaction, he can now stay on his feet instead of falling prone. So that's his ancestry feat, the quick root. And on top of that, he also became more proficient with his ranger weapons. So to give you an example of how strong his hammer is, it now strikes with a plus 14 on the first hit. And so does his fork, actually. So that one caught up because it used to be weaker. Next to that, he also is able now to cover his tracks a bit more efficiently. So when he moves through natural terrain, he can cover his tracks without moving slower. So if he ever needs to maybe walk somewhere else where the party isn't going, that might come in handy. Otherwise, the party will still leave their tracks, I guess, while moving at half speed. But he also got a little stronger in general, and a bit more dexterous. So now he has an AC of 22. And I guess that should be it for Tippler.
All right. Jiji, of course, also leveled up. I get access to level 3 spells now. So I got the good old Fireball and also Haste, which is great for our melee and fighting characters. And after the level up, Jiji is now also trained in Thievery thanks to an ancestry feat. Plus the overall attribute boost helps in getting the skills just a tiny bit more effective. Another thing is only somewhat related to the level up, but still quite important, is that we changed the Alchemist dedication from Jiji to the new remastered version. So if you will hear me mention new things about Alchemist items, that will be why. All in all, I get a few less items per day, but each can be more potent as they scale with my level now, meaning I get Alchemist items up to level 5. And to match that, I also got a few new formulas for higher level items, and that just gives me a bit more diversity in what I can craft. So, yay for new Alchemist items.
Nice leveling up for everyone. Can't wait to see those all being played out. We start today. After you had your rest, you gathered up, kind of discussed your decisions to what you're going to do at the moment. What was the final decision? I think going to the pit, correct?
To the pit!
Yeah.
Because we figured out it's not that far away.
And we don't need a boat.
You do not need a boat, no.
In which direction is it from the town?
It is towards the east-south.
It did not take Giovanni too long of asking around to the docks to figure that one out. Yeah.
Very quickly, realizing, nope, it's quite close, actually.
Wait, did he actually go to the docks with a map and then pointed at the pit and asked captains, can you take us here? And then they would look at him thinking, well, there's no body of water even close to that. What are you talking about?
Well, no. If Giovanni was willing to read maps, he could have figured that one out on his own. But maps are just not aesthetic enough because the people who draw them just don't value the beauty of the maps. They just value the function of them.
Perfect.
Okay, I get you.
So after a couple of hours, probably between 1 or 2 hours of traveling, you use the map and you find this place marked on it, the pit. It looks like a hole into the ground.
So literally
As
a
you
pit.
reach, yeah, literally a pit.
Okay.
As you reach the opening, and it's uncomfortable how you don't see how deep it is at all. You can see that the hole itself is about 100 feet over 100 feet. And it's like white. And it's impossible to see how deep it goes. There is a layer of mist somewhere laying inside of it that seems to cover anything beyond the second floor that you can see. But you do see here, there are ladders connected to the walls. And I'm going to ask for a perception roll.
All right, you guys go ahead. I'll take care of nobody following you.
Looking at this gaping hole in the ground, both Jiji and Tippler get a sense that while there are ladders that are probably very strongly connected to the walls, this is a death trap. A single step in a wrong place and you will fall into the pit, and you do not know how deep it's gonna go. This seems to be very dangerous to walk in. You can see from where you are already that what seems to be the first floor, unless you are rushing, if you walk one person at a time and never be more than that, there are very thin areas, like a stripe of land that you can walk on. And if you believe that if you are walking alone and not in a rush, you are able to do that without any issues. However, if at any point you're going to have to rush through it or be with someone else on the same stripe specifically, it's risky to fall inside. I'm also going to say specifically for Tippler and Jiji, you can add for me, please, a survival roll because you rolled high enough. You?
I'm not great at survival, though.
That's fine. The perception gave you the option to even do that. But Tippler
I'm pretty good. I have +9.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can see, Tippler, there are footsteps of traffic through the area. It seems to be small-legged footprints, as if like a small creature. But you can also see any once in a while like hooves, as if some cattle has been passed through here or some specific animals has been taken. It seems like some creatures have been either lowered or pushed into the pit.
Was it Rib Nugget?
Who knows?
How deep is each of the floors?
From where you are at the moment, looking to the first one, you can see there's about 50 feet from where you stand now until the first floor.
Sorry, what? 15?
50.
50.
50.
So the first floor is already quite deep.
Yep. Let me correct that. 40. Not that much of a difference, but difference.
Still deep.
Yeah.
Is just the fog obscuring our vision, or is it also darkness?
Both. There is no light coming from inside, and at the moment you can see the fog and the darkness, but beyond that, you don't even know how deep it goes.
I'd love to cast a light at max range, which is 120 feet, and see if that gives us any idea beyond what we see right now.
If it pierces through the smoke for the
That's
fog,
what I'm
for
figuring
example.
out. Like if just the fog already obscures everything, or if it's a mixture of darkness or fog.
You can... Okay, you're essentially going to the edge and casting light to be able to see. Are you casting it on something specific?
I don't think I can see a target, so it would be at like max range 120 feet into like the middle, or like close to where I could see, right?
Yeah. Standing as close as you can without it being too dangerous, you cast light and try to see through the smoke. Not smoke, again, fog. I keep saying smoke. It's fog. The fog is quite thick, but you can see that the light shines through this. It seems to be leading to more fog. It seems like some of the levels here are extremely foggy, and you don't see like your light goes through it. You can see that it's darkness and fog, but there's at least a couple of good feet of fog that you can't really see through, which will tell you that it's not just darkness, it's also the fog, and it's not just one layer, right? Like, it's not like a single feet of fog and then there's nothing beyond it. There's a lot of fog under it as well.
There's like a volume of fog, right, in the pit.
Yes, exactly.
Does it give me any idea of like the next 2 levels of how far those would be away? Because that would be like, if those are in range of the 120 feet, or not at all? You
would be able to see at least for the second floor, because you can see it from the map as well. As you can see, there's like a stripe of land, and then there's another ladder going down to another stripe of land, which both of them extremely thin. It looks like this cave itself, this hole, is going to be very difficult to navigate without falling. You can see at least until the second floor, it's around 80 feet already. Going a bit further, you cannot see the third floor, which will tell you either it's beyond 120 feet or it's just beyond the edge of what you're able to see. But you do know that second floor, 80 feet, third floor, deeper than 120.
All right. I mean, I guess the party sees the light as well and can make that out themselves.
Yep.
Exactly.
Can I tell by the footprints what kind of creatures they are? Did you mention that?
Kettle and small humanoids is what you see.
Small humanoids. Okay.
Like bipedal, have shoes on, like seems to have some strong resemblance to creatures who are a part of a social society, that they have like clothing, they have equipment and stuff like that. And then you see like kettle hoof every once in a while, though less than the footprints, but it's obvious to you that kettle has been moved into this pit some way and for some reason.
Okay. In that case, I would like to designate the humanoid ones as my hunted prey. And track them.
Sure. You're choosing one of the sets because there are multiple.
Are they in any way distinguishable?
I'm going to say you can give me another survival roll for that. You do see a lot of traffic, meaning there's a lot of footprints, but if you would like to find like one distinguishable set, give me a survival roll again, please. Like for a more specific reason. It mostly looks kind of similar. You're unable to distinguish one specific that look maybe different. So you can just choose one, and I will let you know this is your hunted prey. Because you will know this was the one when you see it.
Then
if I understand hunt prey correctly.
Yeah. I mean, it technically is supposed to be then one specific creature. I mean, I've only ever used it in combat before, right? But it does have out of combat utility. Like it lets me, it gives me a bonus for seek and track, right? That's what I'm trying to get here. So the idea then is I choose the one that goes in front, assuming it might be the leader.
Sure, that works.
Guess.
Perfect. And I will take a look to see what will be fitting. Yes, you choose the one that is in front. When you see it, you will automatically know it's them, right?
I guess
because it's tracking, I can make that essentially.
I can make that deduction just based off of like, ooh, you have these type of shoes. I don't know, like that's just my guess.
think you
that's
should
how
be
that
able
works.
to, once you see them, know that they're your designated prey because you're following their tracks. So I think it should be once you see or hear them, you will also know, oh, that's the one.
Yeah. But I do, in order to track them, I do have to roll survival for that when I start tracking, and then once every hour to continue tracking.
Would you like to start tracking them?
Yes.
Where do the tracks start, though? That would be the first level, right?
Well, there's the footsteps. There are footsteps going back and forth towards the ladder that is leading to the first floor. Quite a lot of them. But from where you are at the moment, I mean, Tippler might be able to once he goes down, but from where you are at the moment, you are unable to see the footsteps going further in. But all around this area, they're like going in and out towards the ladder.
Yeah, no, I was confused because you specifically said of like them being lowered, but it of course makes sense if they're going to the ladder and disappearing there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in any case, I see them, right? So
Yes.
I should be able to track them.
Yes.
All right, Tipp, I'm right behind you. Get in there.
Do we have like some rope or something so we can like fasten ourselves? Just going down there unprepared seems... I don't know what I expected from like a place that is called the Pit, but I guess if I would have like known this before, I would have like shopped for like gentle landing or something. At least a scroll, if not spend the time to actually learn it and prepare it. But right now I don't think we have anything to like stop us from falling. And I don't like that thought.
You also have the option you've mentioned of getting a look of this and going back to town to do some research and deciding if that's the course you would like to do.
That's why I'm bringing up rope. If we want to like go 1 or 2 levels down with a rope to like we tie each other and like secure ourselves that way and go back before it gets too dangerous, or do we want to like commit to this now?
I mean, I have rope, so I'd be up for it.
It still relies on the strength of each other, and like if too many people slip, it could still end up disastrous.
We're gonna be fine. We have to stop the 7 dooms. There's
Yes,
7
but
of them.
maybe-
We don't no
maybe-
time to waste.
Just maybe hear Gigi out, because I think she makes a very, very good point. Maybe we can do like a compromise. We go down a maximum of 2 levels. Just, we see the first edge and we kind of can like schemingly see that there's a second one, and we don't go any further. We just see what this is out, and if we see maybe a little bit more, maybe you get a better look at the tracks and figure out what it is, or we maybe hear something, and then we don't do anything crazily stupid, but we can then go back. I mean, this kind of track we can do it. I mean, it wasn't that far. It was a leisurely walk.
Sappho, you don't understand. They're coming for our gardens. These bastards are coming for the gardens. They have to be stopped right now.
But if we die, nobody will stop them.
Yes. This is some pretty large height, and I
Well, it's hard to judge. If
not
we
good
see
at falling.
on the second level that there's only like 2 more, and then it's the bottom, then we can go further, right? But
Yeah.
I take it easy and see where it ends.
Yes. I think that's good. Like, let's say if we see on the second, step down, it seems like it's still going like ginormous depth down. Wait, actually, Sappho will just... I mean, it looks like there's a lot of loose stones there. And she's like, should we just chuck one down?
But yeah.
And wait until we hear a crack?
Sure.
Okay, I mean, I can try throwing. Let's see if I throw hard enough.
Don't make it land on like the first floor.
Yeah, Sappho will go close to the edge and then try to chuck it
In the middle.
far enough that it doesn't, that it's as far as she can potentially throw, which is probably not the most far. And see, just from hearing how long it takes until there's any sound, then we get a better sense, or if there's ever any sound. What
You
if
don't
it's
need to
minutes?
roll anything to throw a stone into the pit just to see how deep it goes. At least that's like basic skills. Throwing stones into pits. Absolutely. You throw the stone and you listen carefully to see when do you hear any noise, which will also help you calculate how deep this thing is, because you would know how fast a thrown stone would move. You hear and you wait. And you wait. And you wait. Ting, 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 ting.
I
As
don't
you
like
hear
this.
a hit on what seems to be the ground.
I mean, there is a ground, which is good.
Let's do rough calculations to how well you know how fast the stone falls. Let's do it. Let's do it either perception, or if you can give me a different skill, why would you? It will help you know how fast the rock goes, just to figure out how deep the pit is.
I mean, just pure intelligence of like calculation. There's no mathematical skill in like maybe crafting.
Yeah, crafting. I would have gone with. I would have assumed that Jiji is like with crafting. Alchemy is like no.
Physics
that
is
would
part
make
of
sense.
learning alchemy and crafting. Can I use crafting for
Easy.
this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Physics is nature. I'll use nature for this.
Sure. I'm saying you choose the skill that you think makes sense here. I'm not saying like we're not gonna have a I'm praying to God to know how it is. Can I use religion? But we are gonna use something that makes sense, like nature or crafting. Survival could also make sense here.
Echo. No, but I'll just of a perception to get of a sense of what that might be.
You're all putting your brains together, listening to when the stone stops falling and starts making a noise of ground. Your hunch is between 240 feet to 300 feet.
So if the first few floors are around 40 feet each, that means
That's
at
a
least
lot.
6 floors, if not more.
That would be a good calculation. At least 6 of them, if not more.
Yeah, 6 to 8, depending.
Yeah, that's what I said. 6 is the minimum of.
Hmm.
If some floors are maybe higher, right? We don't know that, but.
Alright, so is there some kind of magical scroll spell thing that's like, I don't know, Jiji can cast on us or Sappho can cast on us and then we just jump down there or something?
I mean, I wouldn't do that just because we don't know what waits for us there. But I mean, I would look to buy a scroll of gentle landing, right? So if I see you falling, I can like slow it down and prevent you from taking damage.
But doesn't it take like 5 minutes to take out the scroll and say the correct words and so on? But then I'll already have fallen.
I would
won't I?
keep the scroll ready, meaning it is ready to cast, or we can take the extra time and I can actually learn it and prepare it, and then I would have it forever. At will, basically. That depends on how much we want to invest in this in time.
I mean, I would say let's go down maybe today just to the first one and see if we can discern a bit better what, like, the tracks that you all mentioned. Maybe go down another one and that's it, because I mean I much prefer if Jiji was knowledgeable about making us land soft, because ouch otherwise. Big ouch.
Big ouch.
I would have to spend 1 hour per spell rank. Since Gentle Landing is a first level spell, it would take 1 hour to learn.
Yeah, you could absolutely learn the spell.
I'm not sure what the rules are for, like, if I learn a new spell, do I have to wait for another daily preparation so I can like, actually prepare the spell? Or could I just add it to my prepared spells, like, as I learn it?
I would assume so, but I can ask our fact checker.
We can also, if we get back home, Because I'm assuming you also need your like lab to like get the science down.
I mean, yeah,
And we
I
can
need
then
some materials and
research
tests
some-
and
Yeah, and then we can also take some time to research. And if we then say, hey, it's getting really late and this is very dark and very deep,
Okay.
we can take a
I'm
night.
still for tying each other to a rope. So
Yes. Yes.
I have one on my backpack. It's 50 feet, I think. Yeah, 50 feet of rope.
That's good. Then we can also tie.
Maybe we use 2 ropes for the 4 of us, or like I don't know how much slack we want. 2 lighter people are on the outside, and then the sturdier people are like in the middle.
Jiji, to answer your question, I'm fairly certain that rules as written only from the daily preparation of the next day, but I would also be okay with you, as part of you learning it, switching it with something else.
Okay, good to know.
I mean, we can also do strong, weak.
No, but like if like the outside person falls, there's only one supporting it, so it makes sense that those outside people would be like the light people, right? Because there would only be one person holding them, right?
I mean, yeah.
So like Tipp goes front, then maybe Giovanni, then you, and then I go last.
I'm not very strong.
Wait, but wouldn't it make sense to have the spell in the beginning? Because that's when it's highest.
You wanted to go without the spell? That's why we said we do the compromise of like seeing 1 to 2 floors, because the first floor looks relatively safe.
Yeah, but that's a silly compromise, because it's the more dangerous thing. Like
Then we go back. I'm happy to learn the spell and invest that time.
that's like no one wins.
But no, we would know. I mean, look, this is also where I think the ledge, like, there's the most space.
Well, we don't know. We haven't even seen the other floors.
Yeah, but I mean, we see this one.
At least going down to the second floor looks quite safe.
I mean, so that we can also just see maybe the tracks are better, and then maybe it gives us some clues of like what to like research. If you tell me that's exactly the hoof shape, we can look at the library and see maybe we can,
Just a little bit more of information. If you're up to go back directly without ever stepping a foot in, then I'm also fine with that. Votes?
I don't mind.
No votes. We need to have a decision somehow.
I'm all for going down there and showing the wrath of the roses to these garden haters down there, but
Yeah, same.
I've got to say that arriving down there alive also sounds like a good plan.
I would say let's go the first one now down, and then we can still evaluate what we think about the second one. And if that is already, we feel it's way too dangerous, we can take our time. We just go one after another down, and we keep really to the, to the edge, the outer edge, like the edge that we have here right now. So the wall, we just keep to that, and we look, maybe follow a bit more tracks, and if we see anything more already, and we decide if we go one more down. But that's also the absolute max. We don't go, and if the second one already looks too dangerous, we go back up, calm and collected. Yeah, we can
I'd
do
say
it.
if we are not committed to going all the way down, then we should just go back and get the spell.
That's what I suggested in the beginning, but
Yes.
now what, you didn't want it.
But in any case, let's make a decision. Otherwise, I'm just going to jump off this bloody cliff
No,
here.
don't do that.
It's like,
I mean, you
Tipp is
go back
done.
on decisions if we say, okay, that's always just...
If we go back now, then we still might be able to explore today.
okay, then let's go back.
Right. So we're going back to Sandpoint to do some research and also to gather some things.
Mhm.
Or just to gather some things.
Also some research, because otherwise it's no point in going back and forth this way. Which I'm assuming also, if we do research, it's gonna take us more time than an hour or two.
Wait, what? I thought the point of going back was to get the spell.
Same.
You can do either or both. You can choose to go back, get the spell, prepare it, and come back to the pit. Or you can choose to go back, get the spell, do some research that might give you some more information, and then come back. Just depends on what you would do first.
I mean, I'll be busy with the
I wouldn't
spell.
know what to do the research on, honestly.
At the pit in general, there's always history on things. Like, this is a...
Like, I'll be
location.
busy learning things anyway, so you can spend the time researching.
Yeah, I'll spend then the time researching.
I wouldn't spend more time than that, but yeah. I guess we hurry back. So like a if we are fast paced, we save time or something.
Yeah, you can try to just go back as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Quite simply. You
We
go
know
back
the
to
way.
Sandpoint. Yeah, you know the way. You left very early in the morning, so it's not going to be an issue. So if it took a couple of hours there and a couple of hours back, it's only around 12:30 now, if we're talking about 30 minutes of discussion about what you were going to do. So it's 12:30 in the afternoon. Jiji is going to get her first level spell. There are many shops that sells scrolls that you can learn from. Finding the spell is not going to be an issue as it's a low level spell. Absolutely.
So I get a first level spell or scroll.
Yes.
Scroll of Gentle Landing.
Yes, and that you can learn.
I have to spend 1 hour where I have the magical writing in possession, have materials with the price indicated in the learning a spell table, and attempt a skill check. So I will have to roll that.
Yes. While Jiji is doing that, if you would like to have some research, you guys can either ask around about if people know about the pit. You can try to find if there are any places in like the main library or with Broad and Quink's library to find some things there. Or you can try to see if you yourselves can remember some information about the pit that might have been hidden. Now I'm going to say, since it's a research subsystem like the other ones, this is another topic you can research, and it will go up whenever you have another kind of skill or whenever you gather new information. So I would say stick to one of the options because it makes it easier to track later who did what. That's in case you want to do that now. You can also decide you're not exploring any research at the moment at all. You would rather do that together. That's also an option.
Sappho will definitely take the time because otherwise it feels wasted time to her to have gone back without going at least a level or two down deep. And would probably, ask the people in town just of who's, heard of like the pit. Maybe their grandma or grandpa told them about it. Like maybe some, stories that they've heard. And,
I would like to emphasize, just so it will be fully clear, gathering information and research will take a couple of hours. It's not going to take the 1 hour that Jiji is doing her spell.
I mean, I still have to go to the shop and go back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like maybe 2 hours, but...
Sort of. Essentially, it takes 2 hours for each of the tasks. So like you can do all of you one kind of research and Jiji is going to be excluded, which she will be able to do later on. And then at that time, when Jiji is done, go back to the pit.
If it's 2 hours, I would say it's fine because I need to go to the shop, go back, learn the spell 1 hour and prepare things. So I would say it's more than an hour at least. But if it's longer than that, I wouldn't spend time researching.
It's going to be 2 hours to do the thing. The question is, which one do you choose? Are you gathering information by talking? Are you trying to remember or going to a library? Because I am going to ask you to choose one of them because it's going to make it very difficult to follow who has rolled on what if it's not at the same time.
Talking to people. I mean, the others were not interested necessarily, or are you now interested in researching this as well?
I'll try and remember something.
Giovanni will ask the plants in the garden who's trying to destroy them.
Your plants are going to be very sad to know that someone is going to try to destroy them. Yeah. Essentially, I'm asking you to choose between gathering information, recalling knowledge, and consulting the library. Because once you start spreading over them, it makes it very difficult to write down who did which one at what point and how much left. How much do you have left?
Agree as a party, right?
Yes. So do you have a preference between the gathering information and recalling knowledge, which seems to be the two main ones have been brought up?
We can recall knowledge.
I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm not involved, that's why I'm...
Yeah, it's everyone except for Jiji. to try to remember any information about the pit, it's going to be either Sandpoint lore or society, which are going to be, as usual, blind.
Luckily, I'm an expert in Sandpoint lore.
That's really
Expert in Sandpoint lore, damn.
Thankfully, I'm a bard and a cheater.
Wait, Society, Sandpoint lore, what was the third option?
There was no third, only two.
Oh,
Society or Sandpoint lore.
And there's just a third option for the bard who's a cheater.
Ah, yeah, that.
Because
You sit around while Jiji is doing her spell learning and try to think, what do you already know about the pit? You have walked there today using the map, but not really looking to where you have been walking. But what you do recollect together using the map and figuring out with your brains, you know that the pit is a mysterious open shaft in the heart of a rocky area called as Devil's Platter, which you already know is just over 2 miles to the southeast of Sandpoint. But you know that Devil's Platter is notorious for being risky, not just because of the people who are around it, but also because Devil's Platter is, well, scattered with a lot of bandits, creatures. The fact that you actually got there without any hitch on the way is quite surprising. It's also a very jagged area and steep to walk on. You know that doing this travel is not terribly long, and for you it wasn't terrible to walk over and climb it, but you do think, knowing what Devil's Platter is, that if you linger too long or walk in a, well, misdirective area or unattended area, you might end up needing to deal with some creatures or being that take advantage of the fact that they know Devil's Platter better. Mostly bandits, goblins, giant lizards, ogres, harpies. Many creatures make Devil's Platter their home. That is what you gather at the moment about the pit.
I'm not surprised we weren't attacked because we are the danger in that area.
I was gonna say that probably like Harpy is gonna find easier food to eat and bandits are gonna find easier people to rob than us.
I still need you to give me the DC for the learn the spell.
There you go. Common, first level spell. Your DC is 15.
Do I see the outcome? Yes, right? Because I know if I'm succeeding.
You should be able to see it. Yes, it's open. You will know if you did well or less well. Yeah. You managed to learn the spell.
It would be really hard to fail it with a plus 11 on Arcana. I'd have to roll a 4 or lower.
Yes. It's also a first level spell.
For a 9 on the dice, so like 20 in total. Basically, since it's a normal success, I expend the full material cost, which is, I think, 2 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
Which for a total of 4 gold in total. I really need to like sell some of the items we've found. Like being an alchemist and wizard is expensive, guys. I need some financial support over here.
I have 75 gold if you need any.
Because of the new alchemist education, I went shopping for some like higher level alchemist formulas, and those are also like coming in expensive at some point, and like now the spells, and it's still okay, right? I still have 40 gold, but I can feel the expenses of being an alchemist and a wizard.
Yeah, we got you. It's fine.
Yeah, you come back, you get the spell, you get some information, you go back. Returning to the pit. Again, quite an easy way to get to. You also kind of know with your information that while Devil's Platter is scattered with creatures, a lot avoid the pit for good reasons. But you go back. What do? Do you climb down? Do you jump in?
So Jiji has the spell ready now, right?
Yes.
I have it prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the deal was you can learn it now and switch it with one of your prepared ones.
Meaning I can cast it 2 times?
You should be able to.
Well, 1 time prepared, basically. And I have, since I can drain my bonded item, basically, to cast it again if I want to.
Yes, exactly.
And I also
just
have the
replace
scroll,
one of your
right?
things
So I
there.
do own the scroll and can use that still to cast it.
Scrolls are consumed when you learn them.
Ah, right.
Yes, like formulas.
Yeah, right, like formula.
Okay. Then I would still suggest that we tie each other together with some rope, like as a basic
Yes.
safety, and last resort is Jiji cast a spell.
Sounds good.
Okay, I would go in front.
Tipp goes first. Who follows?
I do.
Giovanni goes second. Which one is going to be the third?
I think this was then Sappho third and Jiji last, right?
I can go last. And then I can see everyone easily.
Sappho is third. Jiji is last. It is also very dark there, meaning anyone between you who doesn't have dark vision will not be able to see unless you have light on.
I think we need some light again. Would you be so kind? Because as you should remember, I see good in the dusk.
Wait.
Not
Sappho, wait.
pitch black
Come
dark.
here. I've got something
Yes,
new for you.
yes. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I can make this now. I can make a dark vision elixir.
Oh, that's cool.
Because of the new alchemist rules, basically it's a level 4 item. I can make that. And it was one of the formulas I got, which basically allows us to all
Amazing.
see in dark vision without having a light which draws attention to us.
Yeah, because
Nice.
I mean, you guys could always see in dark vision, just me.
You, as far as I understand, you're also tying a rope just to make it extra safe. Are you tying the rope between yourselves?
Yes.
I think we have 250 feet of rope because we should have it because we are, as we know, we should go one after another to like not strain these steps and all. So we need to have enough space between each other as well.
Perfect. As mentioned earlier, the ladders themselves seem to be quite well made and connected, and as long as you don't walk two of you or in a rush on the slight, small land areas, you should be doing fine. So tying a rope between yourself is very good to help you make sure that none of you is actually falling or misstepping on the way. As you start taking steps down the ladder one by one to the first level of the pit, where from the ladder there is a very thin landscape that you can walk on until you can see it reaches all the way to another ladder. But what you can also see is that about 20 feet away from that second ladder to the second floor is a wooden door.
Okay, this is where I would start tracking my hunted prey.
Yes.
I didn't designate a new one, so it's still the same.
Tracks are very easy for you to track on.
Okay. Then I would try to follow them and see if they go down the ladder or to the door.
You follow the footsteps. Unmistakably, they go to the door.
So basically, we use 2 ropes, meaning we have 25 feet between each of us? Or did we use more ropes?
Yes.
Yep.
You used 2 ropes, so you should have 25 feet.
Where is the door? I see it now, no matter.
Okay, I point out to the party that the footsteps lead to the door and suggest that we have a look inside first before going further down.
Maybe quietly open the door and try to peek inside?
I will step up to the door and listen in first if I can hear something inside.
Very
okay.
good.
You can give me a perception roll, please. You listen through the door. It's a wooden door, so it's actually quite simple to listen through. Silent. Nothing on the other side.
Doesn't seem like anyone's home, so should we take a peek?
Yeah, might be some garden haters in there. Let's show them the wrath of the roses.
Wrath of the Roses, okay. I opened the door.
You open the door to see from where you already stand. There is something in the middle of this chamber that seems to be very similar to some other things you've encountered before. As you can see, a large body of a horse body with bat wings that seems to be repeating around you every once in a while. You don't even need to question what this is. You know by now, since you already encountered one of those. This, whatever you see inside, statue, figurine, is depicting the Sandpoint devil.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Correct response. Horsey.
Horsey. Yeah. Okay. Well, I go inside and see if they can find anything else.
Moving further in, you can see that there are more things around here. There are many skulls that are hung on the walls for a range of animals. There's deers, cows, elks, wolves, horses, even humans. And you can see all of the well-mounted skulls are angled to stare down towards the entrance that you just walked through, as if they are posing in a menacing position, staring towards you. You can easily see what seems to be a statue or a taxidermy of the Sandpoint devil, and 4 big taxidermy spiders, kind of like one in each alcove, 2 to the south, 2 to the right, 2 to the left.
Wait. That's an important distinction, I feel. Like, is it a statue made of stone or something? Or is it actually taxidermied, as in this used to be a living thing and is now dead?
It seems to be more of a taxidermy, so you're positive it's not stone, but this is combined. This is a mix match of taxidermy. You can see that the wings did not connect to the horse originally, nor did the tail and the back connect to it. It was made to look like a Sandpoint devil.
Did we not encounter like a taxidermy, like mechanical animated Sandpoint devil in that like haunted house?
You did, which is exactly why you didn't need to roll on this one, because you already encountered something extremely similar.
Could you give us some insight, since this was the like pre-adventure leveling thing? We'd never like actually played it out. Like, was this controlled by a person back then, or was it like a self-activated thing that we encountered back then?
Back then, you were in the Valdemar Manor before the eldest son came back to live in it. It was a haunted manor, which you encountered there a Jinkin sorcerer, which is a type of creature, kind of a gremlin of sort, that had also a Sandpoint devil taxidermy. Now, in your situation, it wasn't alive on its own. The sorcerer tried to make it animated, but could not control it, so it ended up fighting against itself. It was not something that was already automated. It was animated by the sorcerer.
Well, surely this one is not gonna come alive if we step into the room, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. I take out both my weapons.
Okay.
Do you want me to like... Oh god, this is going to be difficult with the rope here. I mean, I could check out and see if, maybe there's some stuff around, maybe something that would, activate it if it's, gonna attack us?
Yeah, maybe let's have a look around first before we go any further.
I mean, I think for some things there might be me to look around, but I can try to be super duper sneaky and stuff. I can be really quiet, I promise.
So from where I stand, which is pretty much at the entrance of the room, I would like to see if there's any sort of mechanism, trap, or anything that might trigger any of the creatures in the room to come alive, or anything else that might be relevant.
Please give me a perception roll.
Can I also look?
Absolutely. Are we going back to exploration activities? Please remind me what they are. I believe you have your usual ones, just to go over them.
I'm tracking. I believe that's an active thing.
Yes. The tracks are, by the way, you still follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I do see that there's also a door on the back of the room to the right.
Indeed. There's a door behind the statue and a door that goes to the right from the statue. There are 2 doors in this room.
Okay. Then I'll return to the tracks when it becomes relevant. First, I want to see if there's anything, like any triggering, any traps or whatever.
No problem. Anyone else rolling except for Tippler and Jiji? Right. What is Giovanni and Sappho doing?
Giovanni is scouting for any enemies of the gardens, any people trying to destroy the gardens or creatures.
Perfect.
Giving a
Scouting.
+1 bonus to initiative in case any combat breaks out or something.
Yep. And Sappho?
I mean, Give me 2 seconds. We're not gonna manage to go all to the front to actually look if we say we don't go any further inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Sappho will just...
You can step behind me and look over me.
Yeah, that's
taller.
Not also if Jiji is coming there, that it gets very crowded. Because this is a tight tunnel here.
Yeah.
Sappho will just have a listen for the outside if there's anyone, coming in that regard.
On the other side, where you came from.
Yes.
Perfect. Are you, by the way, leaving the door open for you, for easy access?
Yeah, in case we need to run out of this room. Yeah.
Good idea.
Tippler. You notice a visible trap, but not where you thought you will find it. You can see, very close to you, 2 steps, one next to each of the spiders on the right and to the left, that you're fairly certain are a stepping plate. If you step on it, it activates its trap.
I also point them out to the party.
They're so far out, though. I would have expected them to be at the entrance somehow.
Well, maybe someone doesn't want us touching the spiders, and that's why they put them in front of them.
That's what you see?
I have no issue with. I wasn't planning on touching the spider.
Is there any way we could try to find out the reason they're there, or the mechanism behind
the logic behind it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say with crafting you can.
I'd love to do that.
Essentially, you're kind of recalling knowledge with crafting on these traps. It's clear to you, Jiji, especially from where you are, seeing the one that is a bit further away because you have a better angle on it. This step is connected to the spider, as what makes you think that it's gonna have to do something with, if you step on it, the spider does something. More like, this is the trap. They're not trying to protect the spider is the trap.
I see. So if someone were to go investigate the spider or... yeah, get close.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Then I guess we don't see it as well from here, but let's just be careful that there's not something similar in front of the Sandpoint devil. But I guess we could move carefully into the room.
Yeah. I would try and follow the footsteps exactly, step by step.
That's
Perfect.
smart.
Because
You can give me your survival.
because they would unlikely step on traps, right?
Idea?
Wait. So the survival that I gave you in the beginning when we entered here to track them, it's supposed to last for 1 hour to track.
Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect.
But if you want me to roll specifically to step into each one, that's a different thing. But just knowing where the tracks are and being able to follow them, that lasts for an hour from the time I rolled.
Are you trying to like fit to the size or just walk on the same floor?
I mean, I would not exactly try and put each foot into each step, but like
Then
close
in that
enough.
situation, I would say, since you're not trying to like adapt to the exact size and everything, you can just step on the same steps. You
Yeah.
see them, you're following them. That's not an issue.
Yeah. No,
For
I just
you, it's
wanted
easy.
like close enough anyway.
Yeah.
And I would like ask the party, like, hey, stay behind me and try and match where I walk.
You can see the footsteps walking in a semi-direct line forward from where you are, then reaching all the way right next to the statue, moving around. As you approach it, a trap does activate. 10 feet away from the taxidermy is when the taxidermy responds. Stepping into the trap, the mouth of the taxidermy opens and thick smoke comes out of it. To capture both Tippler and Giovanni, I'm going to ask for both of you for a fortitude save, as you are both in the trap as it activates.
That is
Oh, a natural 20 from me.
16. I'm gonna re-roll that with my hero point.
Please do.
18. Well, that's something.
18 is a fail. You become enfeebled 1 for 1 hour.
Oh
As
my
the
god.
smoke is sticking into your lungs. It's smelling so badly. It's just stuck into your nose and you can't stop feeling the puffiness of how hard it is to breathe through this.
Is
Great.
Giovanni just wearing such heavy perfume that he can't smell the other bad stuff?
Yes.
He can only smell roses?
Yes. That's the how the natural 20 here made it. You do see, however, that the mouth of the taxidermy stays open, as in it's not resetting.
Great. I already don't want to. I already want to go home. I had enough of this place. Can we come back tomorrow? I need to sleep this off.
No. We've already made the trek now twice. Let's just keep an eye on the ground and look for anything else that might look trappy.
Well, you didn't have to sniff this disgusting stuff. I don't
Yes.
feel good about this anymore.
Yeah, it's nasty.
But if we go back anytime one of us doesn't feel good, then we'll never go any further.
Okay.
You're fine, Tipp. I got you back. We got this. I'll give you some flowers to I'll give you a little circlet of flowers around your neck, and I'll make them protect your nose if anything like that
Could have
happens
done that
again.
before.
I didn't think about it. Okay, all right.
Yeah, me neither.
I could have, but I didn't.
Ugh, it's disgusting.
I didn't think we were gonna be attacked by foul-smelling stuff again. Like it's every time we go into some hole, there's some stinky stuff in there. It's every single time.
Yeah.
When
The
are we gonna
real
learn?
enemy this campaign is smell.
Yeah.
For sure.
Then I'm extra glad we have Giovanni with us to combat
Yes.
the real enemy. Right. So you mentioned that the trap seems kind of done, right? It's not resetting
Yes.
and it's not going to trigger
It's not
again.
resetting.
Okay.
At the moment, it doesn't seem to be moving at all.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to ask you if you want to actually examine this to have a crafting check.
I would look to Jiji, I guess, to ask her, hey, do you know how these things work?
Sorry, I'm fighting a cat. In IRL, actually, not in-game. What was the crafting check?
Yes.
To see how the trap resets?
Yes. If the trap resets and if so, how?
I feel like a cat would be pretty dangerous to a goblin, though, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like evenly matched opponents.
So Jiji finds
I can see that, yeah.
something quite interesting, which would be actually very fitting for Jiji to figure that out. You look at the mechanism. Do you go a bit more into the chamber now that you've seen that the trap has been done?
I guess if I'm actually investigating, yeah.
You learn A, what's the trigger of this trap, and B, how the reset works. Reset. It resets on its own automatically after an hour, meaning at the moment it's just going to lay there. Trigger. A non-goblin creature approaches within 10 feet of the taxidermy.
Well.
Well.
Is there a way for it to disable it?
You will be able to disable it with thievery if you would like. You see that the source are the 2 gemstones as eyes. So you know that plucking them out in the correct way would give you A, 2 gemstones, B, a disabled trap.
Okay, might be worth it for the gemstones then. Because, I mean, it's disabled for the next hour, so that doesn't really matter too much.
We don't know how long we are in here.
Well, I want the gemstones anyway, so do you want to give it a go?
Yeah.
It's dangerous. How about I just blast the stones out of its eyes with my power of my elements?
That's also possible if you would like to destroy the thing completely.
But you might destroy us with the gemstones.
Alright, if you want to risk your life for the gemstones, I'm not going to stand in your way. They are pretty beautiful.
I would move further so that if it triggers again, you're not caught in that cone.
Yes, you saw it was specifically a cone.
Yeah, I definitely moved.
But you will have to move. Oh, no, we don't have enough rope, I think. You'd
true.
have to move
Well,
past
then
it.
untie the rope. It's not like we're going to fall anywhere here.
Okay, then I guess we're untied
Yep.
now.
And I pack up my bit of rope again.
No problem. Which one of you is trying to get the gemstones out?
I would be.
Right. It's a single roll for both of them.
So it's a separate roll for the gemstones and the disabling?
No, the disabling is taking the gemstones out. You do a single roll for getting them both at the same time. Like every trap, if you critically fail this, the trap activates again. But at the moment, no one is in the cone. So even if it does, you're going to be safe.
Okay. So that is a thievery check, right?
That is indeed a thievery check. Jiji quickly removing one eye, removing the other. And you hold in your hand 2 gems that might be worth some to sell. But you also know that with those swift movements, you disabled the trap.
It should be safe now. You can come in.
Very good. Then I move back.
Alright, nice job. No more stink attacks to be expected.
Should I go first, maybe? If things are that activated by non-goblin creatures?
But that means one of us will stay triggered if you didn't spot it.
Yeah, but maybe I can see it because I'll be closer.
Yeah, that's
to
actually a fair
things?
point.
I don't know.
I'll be right behind you because I can still guide us and tell you where to go, where the footsteps go.
True.
Depends, because if the threats are just smelly, then I can go ahead because my roses protect me from them.
Well, we don't know.
Hey, didn't you promise me a flower crown?
Oh yeah, here you go. And Giovanni will create a rose bush that kind of grows a few rose petals out that form into a little flower circlet for Tipp.
Very good.
Beautiful.
He happily puts this on his head, which is now sort of I guess above the the
cap.
mushroom hat cap. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. That sounds so pretty.
Yes. Very good. You mentioned that the footsteps lead to the door behind the statue and not to the door
Yes.
on the right.
True.
Then
The door right behind the statue.
I would point that out to Gigi and just lead the way.
I will, I guess, be seeking then, basically.
Okay. Looking for more traps.
Of like, yeah, and specifically also seeing if like I see any like mechanisms that don't trigger on me, but I could imagine them triggering on my friends, basically.
Absolutely. You approach the door and you do notice a couple of things. You do like a last swift look into this weirdly shaped chamber. You see 2 more traps next to the spiders that you didn't see the trap yet, as you will know where not to step on them. You see no traps on either of the doors at all, but you do see a sliver of light behind one of the spiders, as if there is a door behind it that is shutting away a light. A hidden door, if you may.
Oh, at which spider?
Behind the spider.
But like there's 4 in the room, which of them?
The bottom... God, directions. Bottom left. I keep forgetting left
Okay,
and
so
right.
like right to the left when we entered, basically.
Yeah, but the doors that you are next to are untrapped. Nothing on them.
Did I
Clear.
see any footsteps going to the hidden door?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely zero.
I guess I pointed out as like I do like a last turn in the room. I was like, is that light like coming from behind the spider? Like maybe a hidden pathway? But I mean, we wanted to check here. I guess I listen in again like Tippler did before.
Okay, give me a perception roll, please.
Yeah, I would.
The
I
door
would do
is
that
big
as
enough
well.
for both of you. Yeah, the
I-
door is
I
big enough
would-
for both of you to like lean your ear in.
I'll listen as well.
On the other side, you hear a conversation in a language that you, Tippler, do not understand. But Jiji does. It's Goblin. You hear
Of course, it's
a
Goblin.
couple of people on the other side. You're uncertain exactly how much, but you're positive there's more than 3. But that's where the footsteps lead.
I guess I do like a little shushing motion of like, there's 3 more? They're speaking in Goblin. Can I understand the conversation?
Yeah, with you being able to speak Goblin, you get some snippets of the conversation. It seems like it's a group of people who were on duty and now they're pretty much on like their watch. You can hear a couple of them talking about like how the last raid they did was successful, and one of them is yelling on the back that they are waking up their friends and not to talk so loud. They don't have any specific like important information they give you, but you understand that these are a group of people who are currently being on watch, meaning as far as you know people on watch, they are preparing for danger and stuff to come.
I guess I like quietly share that with the group. Trying to be, I don't know, do I have to roll a stealth roll to communicate or something?
Since you're behind the door and none of you has been making too loud of a noise, no. But if you would like to start making like plans, conversation, movements and stuff like that, you would. Especially if you would like to go through the door.
Mm-hmm. It's mostly like I'm saying like they're on watch, they seem prepared. Like I don't think they'd be surprised if we go in. Maybe they're armed. Do we wanna like do we just fight anything we find down here or
Giovanni takes like his thumb up to his neck and makes like a cutting motion.
Giovanni made his mind.
I nod in agreement.
if that's the plan, then I guess I do point out of like maybe leave someone we can interrogate.
Good point.
Giovanni nods.
But I guess our safety always comes first.
So you prepare to open the door and charge.
I guess opening the door is like one action in like combat.
Yes.
Could we could Sappho already cast her poem or something, precast it or something?
If she would start casting a spell, that would make noise unless she is further away.
It's more like simultaneously as we open the door, or is that then the first round already?
It's an emanation, which means 60 feet range. If I do it somewhere else, it will be... I don't think I can do it in a way that won't be heard.
It was more sort of if we could do it simultaneously as because we are prepared and we get the first turn as we open the door, or is it instant?
So, once again, essentially, there are no surprise rounds in Pathfinder. However, I tend to give the surprising, the one who is doing the surprise, a single action, and then we start actual initiative. So a single action could be opening the door. It could be Sappho starting to cast a spell, or if it's a single action spell, she can cast a spell. And then the next one, she has to use her first action of the turn to start, to finish the spell. So yeah, technically it's possible in the way we play.
I mean, the anthems are one level, are just one action.
Then yes, you could use your single action to cast those. If you're surprising the group, for example, which is what is essentially happening here. You're going to surprise them, so one of you is going to have to open the door. I'm fairly certain it has to be Giovanni because Tippler doesn't have hands for it.
I smashed the door with my hammer.
It sounds like Tippler doesn't have hands.
And
he's just a stumpy, mushroom. Just a stumpy mushroom with
What do you mean
no
I don't
hands.
have hands?
It just sounded like it.
No. I smash a hole. I smash a hole into the door, and it's here's Johnny. No, okay, sorry.
Yes. So if you would like to open the door and start doing your things, you will each get your single action, but one of you needs to use that action to open the door.
Yeah, I'll open the door. I'm right there. I can do that.
So do we want to use the action for the anthem or the door? I don't mind.
You can each get an action.
Oh, each. Okay.
A single action, though.
Oh, everyone gets one. I thought
Yes.
as a
But
group we have one.
action.
Okay,
No,
but everyone
a
has
single
one.
action for each person, because since you don't essentially have Pathfinder surprise, but I do think it would make sense to sometimes have those effects.
Mm-hmm.
I would have you would roll initiative. We will go one by one in initiative order, and you will tell me your single action, and then we go back to a regular initiative with the enemies and everything.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I think I would actually use my one action to twin parry.
Sure.
Just go in a bit buffed.
Then we have Courageous Anthem. We have Twin Parry. What would be
Open door
Gigi's
and
action?
Gigi, then yeah.
I guess I will be preparing a spell.
All right. So the way I would say it, you cast the first of these actions for the spell now, and then you have to start your next turn with the rest of the actions. Meaning if it's 2, you're doing one now and one later. Okay.
I guess I could cast Shield on myself. That might not be the dumbest. I'll do that.
Yeah, it's a free one. So you have Sappho, Courageous Anthem, Jiji casting Shield, Tippler using the Twin Parry, Giovanni open the door. You see in front of you 6 goblins sitting around the fire, 4 of them holding a long weapon, 1 of them is holding a bow, and another one of them is holding some beads in their hands. And behind them, behind the fireplace in this massive chamber, you see a throne. And on the throne is a burnt to a crisp goblin.
Oh my.
As you open the door, preparing for what you have, they are preparing to join combat. But we're gonna roll initiative in our next session.
Damn, it's already that late again.
It's already that late again. It's that time of the year.
What a creepy setup of a burnt corpse, I suppose, on a throne.
Seems to be.
I'll have to find out after the combat.
Oh yeah.
Next session.
Yeah, well, welcome.
Unless the corpse gets up and fight
Well,
with
I
it.
mean,
gonna-
given that there's a fire in the middle, we can just add more burnt corpses to it.
Or
That's
we
true.
can just gently ask them, hey, what happened? Do you want to talk
Imagine
about it?
opening the door surprisingly and then just someone asking, by the way, what happened here before anything else?
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
just
my
like a-
first action, I point in
As my
shock at the burnt corpse. What
What's
happened to
this?
that guy?
I just very carefully like, oh, this seems like what happened here? Did somebody hurt you? Do you want to talk about it? We can sit down. I think we'll find a couch.
You thought this was an encounter, but this is actually an intervention.
Yes. Therapy.
Oh
Very
my
likely.
god, I love the portrait of that one goblin in the back who is just like
Ah, yeah.
yelling with like passion. He's passionately yelling war chanter. Oh my god, amazing.
No,
He's just chanting.
I think he's singing an aria of just like
Wait, didn't you
He's
say he
doing the
was
opening
holding
of the
beers?
lights.
It's like a goblin ancestry thing of like goblin song. Right, because
Yeah.
I just looked at the ancestor feeds like last session because we leveled up. And there's like the goblin song and then there's like the advanced version.
Yes.
So he might be doing that.
Goblin song.
This is the
Damn,
opera singer.
Sappho is gonna have to inspire us like very well to not get out-barded by this goblin war chanter. over here.
Outbarded. Oh my god. Let's see
good.
this bard off next session. When you
Yes.
explore therapy, combat, both, maybe. We'll see. Thank you all for playing and thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you and
Thank you.
goodbye.
See you
Thank
next
you for
time.
the
Until next
session.
time.
Thank you for listening. It was a great time. And bye-bye.
Red Sun Rising is made by Of Dice and Dinner, produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. Red Sun Rising uses trademarks and or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's fan content policy at paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Red Sun Rising is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Original characters and content are the property of Dice and Dinner. Our podcast intro-outro theme is made by Frieda, Melando, and Shachar Bieber. Of Dice and Dinner is happy to be in touch, and our email is the best way to do so. That's ofdiceanddinnerpodcast@gmail.com.